You know, I always say this. There are certain movies that critics watch so that you don't have to. And this one, though Deewane Seher Mein, firmly falls into that category. Save yourself the 2 hours and I'll tell you exactly why. Let's start with the story, or rather the lack of one. The film follows Shashank and Roshni, played by Siddhant Chaturvedi and Mrunal Thakur. Their families connect through a matrimonial site, they meet, and then begins what the film wants you to believe is a love story. What it actually is a chaotic, repetitive cycle of falling in love, falling out of love, and then doing it all over again. That's essentially the whole film. And somewhere in the middle of watching this, I genuinely thought to myself, this entire story could have been an email, a short one at that. Now, the bigger problem isn't even the weak premise. It's that the film keeps stretching itself with subplot after subplot that adds nothing to the main story. The two central characters have their own personal insecurities. Shashank spells Shah as Sa, which apparently represents his lack of confidence, and Roshni feels she isn't attractive enough and so never takes off her glasses. These are their character arcs. That's it. And look, I'm not dismissing the idea. Insecurities can make for very deeply relatable characters if handled well. But here, these traits are introduced, overplayed, and never really resolved in any satisfying way. The whole film just keeps going in circle around these two ideas for over 2 hours, when the story, if told crisply, could have ended in about 70 to 75 minutes, maybe even less. The result is a film that feels painfully slow, messy, and by the interval you're already mentally checking out. And then there are the dialogues. Oh, the dialogues. They're bland, they're dated, and they have absolutely no personality. In a romantic drama, your dialogues are everything. They're what makes your moment lands. They're what makes you root for the characters. They're what stay with you after you walk out of the theater. None of that happens here. It felt like nobody on the writing team wanted to put in that extra bit of thought to make the conversations feel real or special. It's a shame because with the right writing, this premise could at least have been a breezy, fun watch, but no such luck. Now, I had genuinely high hopes for this one, and not just because of the cast, but because of the director, Ravi Udyawar. His debut film Mom was something very special. It was sharp, it was fast paced, the screenplay was tight, and the direction was assured and confident. That film told you this was a director who knew exactly what he was doing. So, walking into Do Deewane Seher Mein, I expected at least some of that craft to carry over, but honestly, nothing, and I mean nothing from that version of Ravi Udyawar shows up in this film. I was left genuinely baffled. It's the kind of film that makes you wonder what went wrong at every stage of the production. And when a film is struggling this much, you at least hope the music saves it, because a great soundtrack can carry even a weak story. But that didn't happen either. In fact, here's the most frustrating part, the title track. Remember it from the trailer? It sounded fresh, it had energy, and it was one thing that I was genuinely looking forward to experiencing in the film. And then it's not even in the movie. It doesn't appear at all. I mean, who makes that call? You put a song in the trailer, you get people excited about it, and then you don't include it in the final cut. That's just baffling and honestly a little disrespectful to the audience as well. Now, I wanted to be fair about one thing, the actors. Siddhant Chaturvedi and Mrunal Thakur are both talented and they do their best with what's been given to them. You can see them trying, but there's only so much an actor can do when the material itself is working against them. The writing lets them down, the pacing lets them down, and with no amount of charm on screen can fix a screenplay that isn't working. So, this is absolutely no reflection on them as performers. On the whole, though Deewane Seher Mein is a film that had simple enough premise to at least be a light, enjoyable rom-com, I was especially craving something like that after the heaviness of Assi. But what we get instead is a bloated, slow, and frustratingly boring film that overstays its welcome by a long stretch. Skip it. If you did catch the film though, I'd genuinely love to know what you thought. Drop it in the comments. And if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.